This is the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
The Sound of Freedom. I know many of you probably have already seen the film. It's done unbelievably well. It's estimated that it's brought maybe $40 million in since its release on the 4th of July. Everyone I've spoken to, they really have loved this film. It's had a profound impact on them. If you take a look at social media, you can see people who are deeply moved. It's raising awareness. It's educating people. It's talking about something that has really been quite silent for a long time, the reality of human trafficking, and really highlighting the ugliest part of it, this child sexual trafficking. It was number 3. It was the number 3 show this weekend. It's gotten certain members of our society concerned, and they're not concerned that children are being bought and sold and dragged all over the world for perverted reasons. No, that's not it. There's another concern. In fact, major publications, apparently CNN, The Washington Post, Rolling Stones, The Guardian, they've all savaged The Sound of Freedom. They've savaged it, and for various reasons. We're going to talk about why. But let me bring into the conversation Christian Toto. He is the host of Hollywood in Toto, and you can find him at hollywoodintoto.com. It's good to have him here with us today. Let me first of all, thank you for your article. I want to post it so people can read it. A lot of those who listen have gone out and seen this movie. Look, I think it's just critical that you read this article as well. 5 shocking reasons media savaged the sound of freedom. Give me your take on it. What are those reasons that they so brutally attack this?
Well, 2 quick things. One, the movie does a really good job of taking extremely challenging material and making it into a compelling drama. And I often refer to these films as eating your vegetables, where you know it's good, you know there's important information, but it's not enjoyable to watch to a certain extent. It feels like a chore in a way. And I think this film threads the needle between illuminating a subject that needs light, sharing information without getting too lurid about the information, and also making it a compelling film, because I don't think you get the message out without a compelling film behind this. So that's important. Also, the movie was completed 5 years ago. I think that the word God is mentioned 3 times. It is not a faith-based movie per se.
Right.
It's a drama. It's a thriller. It's got a lot of different elements. It's not political at all either. And yet, when it came out, and all of a sudden people were lining up to see it, and the box office exploded for an indie film, I think that turned the media on, and they said, my gosh, it's appealing to people right of center. It's appealing to Christians. That's not good. We're going to attack this film. I mean, because I think the attacks you're seeing didn't happen immediately. I think it took a couple days to bubble up. And I think we're in such a tribal time as far as ideological concerns, is that the media, which is very left of center, aggressively so, couldn't stand that this movie seemingly is very successful. But I do think it's gross, and I do think that they're downplaying the real story here on so many levels. And just think, a movie comes out that shares the horrors of child sex trafficking, and all the media can do is say, well, that Caviezel guy, he's got some thoughts we don't like, and, oh, this is a fear-mongering. Oh, we shouldn't be afraid of having our children stolen and not be aware that this happens in all 50 states across the country. It's shocking. And, that's what pop culture can do best, is shine a light on things that we weren't aware of. And now millions of people are aware of it. And that's important. And to downplay that is again, gross.
I want to go back. Remember, and I know you highlight this in your article, you talked about the Netflix movie Cuties. Was there equal outrage towards something like that as there was towards a film like this that's trying to protect children who are being sold into slavery and sexual abuse?
There was a lot of blowback against Cuties, but that was from the general public. They were outraged by it. Even the poster they had to take down because the poster showed some of that imagery that was just inappropriate. I'm a free speech purist all the days long.
Yeah, me too.
But even when I watch some of those scenes, I'm thinking, do you really need to tell the story this way? Is that important? Yeah. But what happened at the time was the media rallied almost uniformly around the movie, around Netflix, around Cuties, around the project itself. So that's the stance they took then. And now with this movie out in theaters and doing quite well, it's a completely opposite take on it. And by the way, you can say the movie's bad. You can say it's dull. You can say it's poorly acted. These are all subjective things that critics do all day long. And you could say, well, listen, the critic was gunning for it. And there's some truth there as well. But I don't mind that at all. If you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie. I had some minor complaints about the movie too. That's fine. This is different. It really is stunning. And I I don't want to be stunned by what happens in our culture, but it keeps happening. And this is a grade A example of how stunning the media can be.
Yeah, no, I could not agree with you more. If you haven't seen the film, it tells a very gripping story. It's a true story of a former U.S. government agent, a guy named Tim Ballard, who devotes his life to fighting against child trafficking. And it just shows his relentless pursuit of rescuing innocent children from the clutches of these human trafficking networks. And as you point out, Christian, I think it was really tastefully and very cleverly done. I mean, you get sucked into the drama of it all. And I know what you're saying. I thought your example of not wanting to watch something is like eating your vegetables. I didn't get that sense with this movie at all. It was a very interesting tale, very powerful narrative, and it gives a glimpse into the harsh reality that is faced by the victims of this heinous crime. So to see the media come out and savage the movie after it's had such a wonderful and strong opening, it's really quite telling.
And there's a lot of tawdriness in Hollywood. There's also a lot of good people. I don't want to paint them with a broad brush. And I've talked to a lot of actors, a lot of good stories to tell about their fellow stars.
Yeah, me too.
But the morality at play, at least on the surface, is troubling. It's tough to talk about, but it is upsetting.
Let's grab another call. We'll go to Vallejo, California next. Ed, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to say I saw the movie twice. I'm going tonight. I bought 5 tickets and gave to people.
Thanks for calling, though,
Okay.
because you're out there seeing it for the third time. I'm grateful. You're trying to do something. And Christian, I have a moment or two left, but I'm just curious. What is it about this movie? Because this really seems to have gained some grassroots momentum. I see people writing to bishops asking them to, have all their dioceses put this in bulletins. We see people buying tickets for others. It was really hard to get this out and get the traction that they needed. But those who see it really have become very passionate about it.
I think it's a perfect storm. I think it is the passion of the actors involved. I think it's the fact that translated to the screen. The fact that we don't see movies like this very often, the fact that we're in the middle of a summer blockbuster season, which is full of silly, funny, roller coaster rides, which is perfectly fine. That's what summer movies are all about. Then along comes this film, which is the perfect counter programming. I give a lot of credit to Angel Studios. They know how to market films. They know how to reach out to people. They listen to their audiences. They know what they're thinking and what they want. Yep. So I think it's not just one or two factors, but I also think now A, word of mouth is going to keep kicking in, and B, I think people are going to react in more passionately because of the media, because of this outrageous attack on the movie.
No, I totally agree with you. I do. Hey, I want to thank you for your article. If people want to read it, what's the best way to connect to that piece? We're going to link to it on our Twitter page at Drew Mariani Show. People can go there, but they want to go check out your other writings. What's the best way to follow up?
Well, my website is hollywoodintoto.com.
That sounds great. Hey, Christian, thank you. I appreciate you being here today. Keep up your good work. Look forward to our next conversation.
Will do.
That's Christian Toto.